Hello and welcome. Just getting the chat here. If the sound is okay. Oh, I have it. Oh. Are we... Oh, I thought we were vertical. Okay. Hello Miss Venus. Hello Jasmine. Hello Kidda. Hello John and Tiffany as well. Hello and welcome. So just let me know how the sound is. And it's a member stream, so we don't need our emojis or anything like that. We will just go ahead and get into questions. But we do have, hello Kevin, we do have chakra cards, unicorn, spirit animal, shadow healing, shaman's dream, akashic and love cards. So the same cards we've had for a while, for the past 2 streams I think. So yeah, so I hope you guys are all well, and I will get into it. So our first question is, Kidda, have I met my soulmate yet? Okay. Get a no on that, Kidda. I'm well, Kevin, I hope you're well. Tiffany, do I have any secret admirers? Just out of curiosity, no eye on anyone, okay. Yeah, there's something coming through there. This could be very new, or maybe coming up in this current chapter. It's very minimal in its energy, but it is there. The sound is good. Good. Thank you, I'm glad. So, love card for Kidda. Passion. Passion here. Allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. Just tapping into your passionate energies. So sacral chakra focus. Usually, the sacral, is linked mostly to our creative energy and our intimate energies. And when we feel passion, even if it's in a creative project or, about something else in life, it can impact the passion that we then go on to feel or go on to attract to us in a romantic sense as well. So even if you're passionate for your creative hobby, you can still be manifesting and attracting passion from an intimate connection. But passion is your love card. There may be passion on its way to you. Jan, what are Kaizen's current thoughts and feelings over me and the connection? Okay. So the positive emotions and the positive kind of thoughts are there. They are a little bit suppressed at the moment. So, yeah, I think they were coming up a little bit more recently. Sorry, my nose ring popped out. Should be okay anyway to just hang there. um, so they feel, it feels suppressed. It does feel a little bit suppressed. At a moment, these thoughts and feelings. It almost feels a little bit like I've overthought a little bit for a small period, for like I don't know, a day or two, and then I'm kind of it's uncomfortable. So it's come up, it's been uncomfortable, and then it's kind of almost pushed back down again. Is kind of how it feels, because it doesn't feel like I'm continuously holding this down. It does feel like I'm allowing it to come up, I'm thinking about it, then I'm kind of feeling a bit uncomfortable there. So that's coming up at the moment. Intentions, not really any intentions with that, unfortunately. Miss Venus, Acacia card, yes. So the increscent moon. So this card's quite interesting in its meaning. So there can be there's kind of 2 points to it. So it can be about you, or it can be about a person in your life. That's what I'm trying to say about the 2 different things. So it can represent an aspect of you, or it can represent a person in your life. So the picture shows a man. He's carving sculptures of women. There's all these sculptures, drawings, and all of these things, because it's symbolic that he's trying to carve or draw, create the perfect woman for him. So he has this perfectionist idea about what he wants, and he's quite quick to, some of these aren't finished, they've just been given up on. He's quite quick to give up on it and move on to the next one, try to find that perfect woman again, create that perfect woman again. And so this can be a person in your life that's looking for perfection in their relationship, so looking for that perfection in you, or their past relationships and then you. Or it can represent you, who's looking for perfection, you're looking for perfection. So just think about what resonates kind of more with you for that, because it is about someone kind of seeking perfection and not really allowing, not really understanding that actually nobody is perfect. So whether you're trying to be perfect yourself, or whether you're trying to look for something perfect, it's not really something that you can attain. And that's what the open window is about. So it's a little bit of positivity coming in around that idea that if you're seeking perfection and you're really trying to find perfection, that you're kind of going to be opened up to, the beautiful possibility of perfection with the imperfections, or this person on your life path is going to open up a little bit more, open their emotions up a little bit more, and kind of step away from that idea of perfection that doesn't really exist, but that's what the card is about. I feel it resonates more to be someone in your life and not you, but I do like to give all of the meanings and let you decide. Kira says, should I leave Tyrone alone? Okay. So don't get a definite yes, like you must or you should leave this person alone, but there does seem to be more high vibrational and positive love path available to you elsewhere. So I would say yes. Shayna, hello. What are the chances of me reaching my weight loss goal on my current regime? Yes, okay. So let me check this. Yeah, so there seems to be a lot of positivity around this. It does seem like it seems like there's a bit of a maybe an idea or expectation or hope in time frame in terms of time frame, and it does feel like that will be a bit longer, will take a little bit longer. But there's still positive energy around it. It just seems like the expected time frame could be longer. Jan, when is the heart to heart? When will Kaizen no longer be in the energy of taking a step back? Okay, so so let's look most prominent energy of making a step forward. Yeah, so there's a few possibilities of getting a bit more of a forward momentum coming. Um, Towards kind of end of this month, beginning of next month is coming up quite prominently, and then a little bit further along October as well is coming up as well. Um, so that's kind of the forward momentum kind of going there. But heart to heart, so heart to heart's more of the admission of feelings, you know, maybe not just testing the waters, maybe not just communication, being more regular and things, feeling better, but actually expressing the inner feelings. So let's look at that. Mid-November is looking most prominent there. Looking most prominent. Kevin, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm not really, I don't think I've ever worn my hair up, but it's not really something I often do. So I really appreciate that. It's very sweet. Thank you. Could I have 3 cards of my choice? Okay. So let's go with we'll do an Akashic, a unicorn, and a shadow healing. So, Akashic, for Kidda. Caught in the Ruins. Okay, so Caught in the Ruins, it's as we can see, there's 2 people stuck in a ruin. They're stuck in a ruin, kind of locked in. And these people are, it's usually a relationship. So it's usually, or well, I say a relationship of the past. It's usually an ex-partner. So it's usually that you have some feelings to someone of the past, and they also hold those feelings to you, and that you're both not fully able to move forward because you're both kind of holding on a little bit. Even if you don't hold on together, even if you think of them and never contact them, and they think of you and never contact you, it's that feeling. It's like an energetic cord, you know, to the past. And neither of you can fully move forward because you're still kind of holding on to that cord. Now, the positive kind of message in this card, it's showing that resolution is possible. We have it upright, so we're seeing that resolution is possible, that you are going to overcome this. You're going to overcome it, they're going to overcome it. You're going to move on, move forward, get on with life. But sometimes it can just take a little while. You know, they do say that getting over a relationship takes half the length of the relationship. So if you were together for 2 years, it may take you both a year to fully get over it, you know? So it's usually about relationships with Caught in the Ruins. It can sometimes be something else in the past that you're holding on to if you have a negative habit of the past. You maybe you've kind of recovered from or healed from, but you tap back into it every now and then. You don't really want to. Um, yeah, just something like a habit or a trauma or something like that can be, but it's usually a relationship. It can even be like a friend. It could be a friendship or something like that, but it tends to be a romantic relationship. It's the most common. So that was the Akashic. So a spirit animal. I know, shadow healing, I said, didn't I? Shadow healing. Confused. Confused. The chaos accompanying the confusion seems sorry. The chaos accompanying the confusion seems misguided. However, the others are too embroiled in the situation to see clearly. You will need to make it simpler. So sometimes people can be too engrossed within the situation, too up close and personal with the situation, that it might seem obvious to you, and that issues might seem obvious to you. You might think you're explaining very simply and very easily to understand, but sometimes we can always make it a little bit simpler, and sometimes people do need that. So just think about that, if that comes up for you. And a unicorn card, unicorn. Awareness. Awareness. Live in the moment. Be conscious of your thoughts. Look for signs and guidance. Okay. So that is looking for signs and guidance. Miss Venus. Timeline check for my soulmate to show up in my life. Okay. So October looks pretty prominent, but I'm guessing between October and December. But the beginning of that time frame does look more prominent. So that's good. I hope you think that's good. Kevin, what was going on in A's mind when he told his friend he didn't want to sit behind me in class today? So what I'm seeing is that taking something wrong, taking something, it's almost like offensively or taking it um, uncomfortably in some way. But I don't think it's something you've said. I think it's something someone else has said about you or regarding you in some way. Um, Someone said about you, or someone said that you said. I think someone that some that's something that someone has said that you have said, um, that has caused kind of a almost like a pullback on A's part. Um, that's what I'm guessing from it. Just think if I can see anything like a person or maybe what's being said. No, I'm not seeing that very clearly at the moment. But it is, so I'm kind of getting confirmation that it's something that someone has said, that you have said. So told him that you have said something um, that you may not have said. Jasmine, I'm liking the picture. I can't see it very close. Um, are the twin flame and the SO completely separated now, or am I seeing stuff in my dreams that hasn't happened yet? Or what is the term for what I'm seeing? Okay, so are the twin flame and the SO completely separated, and what are the things you're seeing in your dream? Okay. Yes, so complete separation does seem to be, it's imminent. So imminent energy is feeling like it could be it could be right now or in the very near future. So it's not distant future. It's in this current chapter. I like to call it. So it's, it could be right now or in the next few days, next few weeks maybe. It's imminent energy. So yes, you are likely seeing some things that are precognitive, some future things, because it does seem like it's kind of, it's imminent in this current chapter, likely playing out, as this near future kind of comes, if that makes sense. So pretty imminent in the next few weeks, if that. So yeah, you could be seeing some things quite close to them happening, but maybe a little bit before. Jan, when me and Caden call on the 4th, I suggested we maybe call on the 4th, and he said we possibly could. Okay, so will this come to fruition? Let's see. There's a prominent energy around the 4th, 5th, and 6th. So hopefully the 4th, but could be 5th or 6th. Um, Virgo, hello. Thank you. Thank you, Virgo. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, like the stream if you haven't already. I appreciate it. So, Miss Venus, how does my soulmate look like physically? Are his eyes hazel colour? Okay. Yes, so I see tall. I see brown hair that's quite closely shaven. And I see, I know, I think we laughed about this, but a nice skin tone, which I do still see. So I think there are three things that I have seen before, so I'm kind of confirming that I'm seeing the same kind of thing. So I'm not seeing eye colour here, but I'm going to ask. I'm just going to ask and see if I get a yes or no on it. Um, yes, so I get yes on it. Although I didn't see it, I get yes on it at least. So that's a good way to go around that, I suppose. Um, so just bear with me one moment. I just have to grab some tissue, but I will be right back. Just blowing my nose. Um, Sorry, I've lost. I lost where I'm up to. I'm so sorry. Um, Kevin. Oh, I have pins and needles already. It doesn't usually happen this quickly. Um, Kevin, I feel like A and I had some good interactions today. What are A's views now about our overall connection and situation? Okay. So there doesn't seem to be too much, um, thought surrounding it in terms of. It almost feels a little bit like there's there's definitely more, as time has gone on and as things have been a little bit forwards, a little bit backwards, a little bit up and down, in terms of his feelings towards it. It does seem like he's kind of now not allowing himself so much to pressure, So it feels like there's a little bit of pressure of what am I thinking, what am I feeling, kind of, when it's in the conscious mind, it's overthinking a little bit. So it does feel like there's a more of a relaxed energy and a more of a, I'm going to just go with the flow of this energy now, instead of, suppress it and then overthink and then suppress it and all of that. So on that side, it feels nice. It feels like there's relaxation. It feels like there's not a lot of pressure. So the feelings towards you and the feelings towards the connection just feel natural and quite relaxed. So that's nice. And it's probably for the best, because I think that a nice kind of gradual getting into things, nice and gradually without pressure, is kind of better than maybe, I wouldn't say necessarily he was pushing himself, but, having to make all of the decisions up in my mind and what do I think and where everything stands, it's just a more relaxed kind of energy. So hopefully there's less back and forth of that. Jan, why is Caden uncomfortable with why is Caden uncomfortable with these thoughts and feelings about me? Why is he suppressing feelings? Does he not want to reconcile? Okay, so the discomfort, like when I was looking into the other question and I was seeing feeling or seeing the discomfort, it was very much kind of it feels very much to be it's uncomfortable because it's intense emotion, it's intense emotion that's been many times bottled up for a long time, so it can be very uncomfortable, even if it's even like love and positive emotions, when we think of maybe where we our shortcomings in that connection, or where we feel we might have hurt that person in that connection, there can be a lot of kind of raw and intense emotions, and that is kind of how it felt. It felt very, it's intense emotion, so it's uncomfortable. But why is he suppressing these feelings? Does he not want to? So suppressing them, oftentimes, I have looked at this, and oftentimes suppressing the feelings seems to be out of feeling like it's just easier, feeling like it's just kind of that more easier path where, yeah, I don't feel like I'm expecting anything or trying to. It just feels like an easier kind of energy. But let's ask: does he not want to reconcile? Because, yeah, it's good. It's good to look at that, because although there's love and there's the connection and there's possibilities, that doesn't necessarily mean that right now he's in the energy of yes, I definitely want to. So it may be worth seeing at the moment if he's feeling like he wants to. So yeah, it does feel more a no than a yes in terms of, you know, if I was to put a percentage on it, I would say maybe 60% he doesn't want to and 40% that he does. And I do think this is an issue because this is kind of also why a decision can't be made, or yeah, a decision can't be made, you know, on his part, because it's like I do want to, or it's easier not to, or I do want to, or you know, maybe I don't. So there is the shifting from those two kind of ideas, um, unfortunately. Virgo, will I get a job opportunity in corporate sector, especially by February 2025? Okay. Yeah, I guess a yes, and by February is like really prominent. By February seems very, it seems like a good length of time to give it. It seems very prominent that it will be within that time. Kitty, you're welcome, of course. Jasmine, I had a dream there was a guy that was interested in me, but I gave him to Phil's SO instead. What was the meaning of the stream? Okay. It's interesting because it does seem to be a display of your kind of empathetic kind of nature, because it does seem kind of like you're in your kind of most authentic energy. You do want to be with him, but you don't really want to, you know, there isn't this I want to like steal him from someone, or um I want to have him and for her to be like lonely, or her to be going through things or anything like that. It seems like there's a very, you don't want any comic issues, as one point kind of going on with that and going on with her, but you also want her to find her, you know, lifetime kind of partner who she won't have issues with, and who's, you know, good for her and everything like that. So it seems like there might be a little bit of like worry about karma playing out there in your kind of subconscious, but your empathetic nature is also coming through a lot in that as well. And Miss Venus, what was the present that I felt yesterday during my meditation? Okay. So feeling a Syrian guide here. I was feeling Starseed guide quite quickly, coming up, but just wanted to double check on which was coming through that. Kevin, what type of feelings does A think I have for Kriti? I think he knows I used to have a crush on Kriti. Okay. yes, there does seem to be an understanding that you used to, and there does seem to be a kind of idea that you may still have. So yes. Jan, did Caden leave his raid group? Was that why he was really upset the night when I encountered him and tried to talk to him in game? Okay. So I'm guessing a yes on that. Shayna, will I be able to excel at my current job? Okay. Yes, I guess a yes on that. Kidda, how long before I'm in another long, meaningful relationship? Okay. It looks like around 6 months. 6 months. Kevin, how did A feel when I was being responsive to messages relating to him in our class group chat today? So he does seem to have recognised it. He does seem to have recognised it and felt like a kind of a warmth, I would say, kind of like a maybe warming up to you a little bit, or just a general feeling of care from you. Miss Venus, so it's been confirmed to me by several avenues that purple and blue orbs and lights I'm seeing are Octorian. What are they doing around me? Okay. So there does seem to be a few different kind of purposes and reasons. Yeah, so like observation, checking in and things like that. Um, Channeling energies to you that you might need from time to time, and any kind of work. So if the guides are around you, kind of, if an Octorian guide's at the forefront in helping expanding your kind of gifts, if you will. So let's say you're doing a meditation one night and your angel guide is most forefront, really working with you. Maybe you don't see the lights, but when your Octorian guides are forefront and kind of working with you, then you may be seeing them. So yeah, there seems to be a few different purposes. So if they're kind of forefront working with you in any kind of avenue, then you may be seeing them more. You may be seeing them more. Jan, I noticed hasn't been online much. Why is this? Is she just busy or on a vacation? Okay. It seems like vacation. It does seem like vacation, yes. Virgo, how will I meet my soul family member? Um, so are we looking at like the next soul family member that you'll meet? So I will just see if I can see anything for meeting a soul family member soon, in the next few months or something like that. And I get through workplace that. So through the workplace. Kevin, shadow healing, yes. Suffering. Thinking that no one knows the pain you're enduring is just another form of self-pity. Every soul experiences pain. It's what we do with that pain that defines our future. Virgo, Shaman's Dream. Eye of the Needle. Intentionality? Yes, intentionality. So, being very precise and intentional is maybe needed for you right now. So, sometimes it's nice to be broad and be laid back and be kind of maybe not focusing on one specific thing. But in this current chapter, it may be important for you to be very precise and very, very intentional. Jan, there is a new girl that Caden and his friends have been playing with that goes by Jessie. Do you see her becoming another J or M? As in, will she be romantically interested in Caden? Okay. Does not look likely right now. If you do worry about that and want to check in on that, of course, checking in on another stream is fine. Miss Venus. Omar had been insisting on coming over. I told him no, and he needs to plan it better ahead of time. He hasn't been messaging me as much. What are his thoughts and feelings about my boundaries? Okay. So there definitely does seem to be a little bit of I'm not fully taking a kind of seriously. Like, I do feel like I kind of feel like we're going to meet up. I kind of feel that something's going to happen, and I do have maybe hope for that, but I would say there's a bit of expectation there as well. Yeah, so there does seem to be some expectation there. So I don't feel like there would be. I don't feel like, of course, it's, any kind of boundary should always be kept and everything like that. But I don't feel like there's any harm meant or a physical boundary that will be crossed or anything like that. But I do kind of feel like that there is expectation that it will happen, and there is there does seem to be like expectation of it. So that definitely does seem to be there. Kevin, is it that Kushal said something to A, and I don't want to be A's friend or something like that? Okay, Let's see. So let's first check on Kushal, and let's just check this person first. Yeah, so I'm guessing yes on that. I'm guessing yes on the whole question that you've said there. So it is something along those lines. It is something along the lines of not wanting to be friends. So yes, I'm guessing a yes there. Jan, how is September looking for me and Kaizen's connection? Is there a chance for a heart to heart, a small one, where he opens up and explains? Yeah, so we'll just look. I mean, there could still be a chance there. It may just be not quite as prominent. Sorry, I keep moving around, but keep getting pins and needles in my left leg. So we'll just look at even a small kind of low prominence chance there. Um, I, I, I don't think I would say yes with this, just because of how small it looks. I don't think I would say yes. Um, it just looks too small. Yeah, I don't think I would say yes to that. Kevin, did Kriti say something about me to A negatively, or had a negative conversation about me? Okay. No. Guess a no on that. Jan, is Jay making a romantic comeback? I've been seeing her and Kaizen or communicating a lot. He's texting her more than M. I mean, do you guess a no on that at the moment? Again, we can double check on that and make sure that kind of stays that way. But yeah, I'm guessing a no on that. Jasmine, is he going to be in? Is he going to be in a funk about the separation? And is it something? Is he going to be in a funk about the separation? And is it something I can do to help him through it? So it does seem like to some degree there will be a little bit of that. It does seem like, yeah, it does seem like there will be a little bit, but it doesn't seem really intense and it doesn't seem really too long. I would say that it's quite natural, and you you're kind of like being there and being kind of being available or being, yeah, like available if needed in a sense, is good, but not that there's something specific, because it is just kind of like a natural thing that he will go through, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be too much of an issue for him. Kevin, whatever the negative thing someone might have said to A, does he believe it? To what extent does he believe it? Okay. So I'd say like 50 to 60% in terms of believing it. So there's a little bit more kind of belief and a little bit more concern about it than than just brushing it off. Jan, if we don't call on the 4th, will Kazan be the one to initiate or ask to call on the 5th and 6th? And if so, how will he ask? Like, will he ask to play a game or hang out? Okay. Okay. So I'm guessing yes to him initiating. I'm also guessing a game being more prominent. Virgo, about my next job, how will be the environment and energy surrounding to that? Um, okay, so just looking at whether this is kind of like positive or a negative kind of role, like if you will, maybe it'll be really positive and stay there for a very long time, or maybe it won't work out kind of energy. Okay, let's look. Yeah, so I'm guessing positive energy and also like a kind of long-term energy as well. Miss Venus, what are Jay's thoughts, emotions, and what are Jay's thoughts, emotions, and intentions towards me? Is he beginning to realise that his reactions with me were his Is he beginning to realise that his reactions with me were his trauma triggers? If not, do you see him realising this at some point? Okay. Yeah, he does recognise it. I would say that there's already been some beginning to recognise. I do feel like some of his true awareness is kind of still subconscious, so I suppose it's not true awareness, um but yeah, I would say that there's already been some beginning to realise, and that hopefully that will continue, and he will kind of not overlook that, accept that, work through that kind of thing, because he does need to. But well, let's check that. So you say if not, do you see him realising at some point? Um, but since we have seen it, let's see if maybe he will keep with it and kind of keep going through it and keep not just kind of deflect or deny it because it's easier, you know? Yeah, at the moment, what I'm seeing at least is that there does seem to be kind of some deflecting and not fully wanting to accept or kind of integrate that. So, that's quite unfortunate. Um, bear with me one moment. Jan, does M still have romantic intentions with Caden? And when will she give up on him? So there doesn't seem to be romantic intentions at the moment here, but it does seem like it's possible that they will creep back up pretty soon. I think even on her own kind of side, on her own part, there's some to and fro with it, because of course she doesn't get the same kind of energy match from him that she kind of gives, if that makes sense. And then she does have some interest in other places at times as well. So there can be times where, just through being a little bit fed up by him not kind of matching her completely, she, you know, kind of takes a step back a little bit. But also there's being given more interest and more attention elsewhere can also make her kind of go elsewhere as well. So so it does feel like the romantic intentions are quite low at the moment with her. Kevin, do you see me getting a placement in DE Shaw through my college? How do you see things going? Okay. I'm guessing a no on that one at the moment, so I hope that that energy changes for you. Jan, when will delete Caden's name from her Discord bio? Okay. This seems quite imminent, so it could be like now, it could be in the very near future. Jasmine, considering having my tubes removed for 2 reasons, even though I don't believe in it, I think it would be great for my upcoming relationship. Should I do it, or should I not alter my body? Okay. Excuse me. So there's no negative energy around it, but there isn't like an abundance of positive energy, or I'm not getting like a yes come through very strongly, but I am just seeing that there's no negative energy around it. So so yeah, it's not like it's, you know, if you really feel like it could be a good step, could be, you know, or if it keeps coming back to your mind maybe, then it could be fine. Pooja, hello, I'm well, I hope you're well. What are N's current energies towards me and our connection? Okay. There's positive energy, so I'm not seeing anything that's too negative or anything like that. It's quite positive energy. There is there's a very friendly kind of vibe at the moment. A very kind of, there doesn't most of the time when I look, even if it's being maybe suppressed a little bit or it's not in the mind a lot, there is a romantic energy to it. And it's really has quite friendly energy at the moment, so it's an interesting kind of difference today, but that's how it's coming up at the moment. Kevin, how do you see things progressing for me and A for September? It feels more hopefully. Um, yeah. So sorry. Don't know why I'm yawning all of a sudden. Okay, so how are things progressing for you and A in September? Yeah, yeah, it does really. So going back to that kind of more relaxed feeling I felt earlier, I still kind of feel like there's still a very gradual nature to it, but like I said before, this gradual nature feels like it's it's nice and relaxed and laid back instead of it's because I'm pushing and pulling and kind of beginning again. So it's still it's still kind of gradual, but it's better. There's more of an improvement, if in a sense, because I'm not kind of suppressing those feelings and then bringing them up again. Akashic Tarot for Pooja, on track. So on track. So the on track Akashic card, it's usually more along the lines of work or study. It's a scrolls card, so it is usually more around study or um, your work. So you may be making some decisions very soon or now, around what you want to do for study or on your work path, and you're going to make the right decisions. Things are going to go well. Things are going to be good. It's a very positive omen for being on track in the whole of your life. There can be other aspects that rarely come on track as well, but it just tends to lean a little bit more to the work path. So it's a nice message all around, but a little bit more on the work path. John. Oh, John. But I feel bad, and I feel like this is why I don't like giving, the bad answers, the answers people don't want. I don't want to upset people. Yeah, I don't want to upset people by saying what I'm seeing, but I also don't want to lie as well. So I can't do that. Um, so let's see. Is there any chance he instead has a 60 to want to reconcile, or Caden want to reconcile more soon? I do feel so. The wanting to and wanting not to reconcile, of course, it comes with that stepping forward, stepping back, messaging every day for a few days or every other day for a few days and then going quiet. It is rocky, and it does come, there is this wanting to more than not wanting to, not wanting to more than wanting to. If he was fully confirmed in wanting to, then he would just take the leap to do it. So it's although it's difficult to hear, it is to be expected that there are some times that he doesn't want to, or that he thinks he doesn't want to because otherwise he would. Um, so yeah, so will he want to reconcile more soon? I will check that, but I do feel so anyway because it does come and go like that. It does. There is a back and forth energy with it, with his wanting to reconcile and not. Um, yeah, there's a back and forth kind of energy with it. So yeah, but I will look at that. Will Caden want to reconcile more soon? Yeah, and I'm seeing that it's that kind of back and forth that he does have. Pooja, what are N's intentions towards our connection? What are N's intentions towards our connection? Okay. So the only real intention that he seems to have is to not allow that connection to fully disconnect. He wants that connection to remain, attainable and to remain kind of in reach. So there's definitely not wanting the connection to end. Kevin, what are Narva's thoughts about me? He is one of mine's A's mutual friends. Okay, so what are A's thoughts about you? Okay. Liking you, thinking you're a good person. There doesn't seem to be any negative thoughts. There could be. There seems to be a little bit of. I'm not sure. On a few things. Maybe, I could know you better. Maybe get to know you better. Um, but definitely kind of a liking. Definitely feeling feeling kind of comfortable, or yeah, just kind of positive. Yeah, there doesn't seem to be anything negative there. Jasmine, yes, that's exactly what's going on. I do care about her and Randall, and I don't completely agree with the way I'm going about things myself. With that being said, will someone come in for her? Okay. Yeah, it does seem like it takes a bit of time. It does seem like, I mean, I'm seeing, feels like around maybe 7 months. So it does feel like it takes a bit of time, but that it's kind of needed, and that's kind of the right path. So, and yeah, I do totally feel that with you. Like, sometimes these things do happen, and it's timing can sometimes go so smooth and so perfect, and sometimes it doesn't. And you know, you, I think I think we can have a tendency as well to beat ourselves up a little bit, and just, I know it can be difficult, in these situations, but just try not to do that. Because everything happens for a reason, whether you feel that you've been, you know, whether you feel that you've done like the absolute best in the situation, or whether you feel like you could have done better, or you know, whatever it is, whatever kind of, however you feel about it, there is a reason for it, you know, at the end of the day. Miss Venus, is she the same Syrian guide that showed up for my star siege journey? Let's see. Yes, yes, I do get that. Jan, is there any advice my guides have for this situation with Caden? I'm just at a loss for how to move forward and help us advance together. Yeah, so the members channeling is coming up. Let me just, if I jump out, hopefully I can get back at the right place. But the members channeling, oh, actually, it's quite towards the end of the month. But yeah, you can get guide channeling instead of a POI if you would like. You know, because the POI channelings, I understand like why you often get it, and what, you know, because it's his thoughts, feelings, kind of subconscious and subconscious mind, so it makes sense that you would get it. But sometimes our guides might give more, maybe more advice, you know, around the situation, whereas Caden's probably not going to say like do this and do that to get me, you know. Whereas maybe guides won't say that as well, but yeah, especially a guide that's overseeing that path, maybe Caden's guide, or maybe a, a directional guardian or something that's connected to both of you. They may give that kind of information. So oh yeah, since we do have members in today, oh, let me just find where I'm up to here. So, since I do have members in to members stream, do check the homepage if you haven't already checked it, because our upcoming streams are on there. Most of September's streams are scheduled. There will be some mobile streams because I can't schedule them. There will be some mobile streams, so there'll be pendulum. There'll probably be a pendulum tomorrow. There will be a past life, a mobile past life, and probably more pendulums this month that aren't scheduled. But apart from that, all of the streams are scheduled. So if you wanted to check the homepage, especially this early in the month, is really great, because if there is something that, you know, that you are really intending to make, but it's just too much of the wrong time for you, I do try to accommodate everybody, especially members, so do let me know. I think the timing's a little bit more midway. You know, if it's too early, American people can't come. If it's too late, Indian people can't come. So I'm kind of think I have, hopefully, a bit more of a middle, but we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. So Shayna, have I been able to successfully cut cords from all my past relationships? Okay. Yes, I'm guessing yes there. Pooja, was there any significant message behind the dream I saw where Anne was hugging me, or were those only my longings shown through the dreams? Okay. There is some of the deeper past life connection that you guys have coming through there. So it's not just your own desires coming through in the dream, which can happen, it does happen. But there is this that past life connection and everything with him as well. Shayna, are there any blockages that my guides need me to work on before meeting my soulmate? Okay. So they would like a little bit more of a continuous and maybe unwavering a little bit connection to your intuition. So that will just help you to gravitate onto your, divine timing paths and all of the paths that they're kind of trying to more push you onto. Some sacral healing and protection mostly. It seems protection mostly. So although we can release and protect from our cords to our past relationships and our past connections and all of those things, we can still have work in that chakra, or even just to upkeep protection in that chakra to as a preventative kind of thing for some time. So sometimes what I like to do if I rarely have cleared a chakra is to keep doing work in amplifying and protecting it for a very long time afterwards, to really kind of ensure that it's not just going to kind of slip back into that. As some of you know, like my throat chakra is an area that I work on a lot, and I work on a lot, and I haven't quite got to that point with the throat chakra where I'm only amplifying and protecting and I never have any kind of issues. But we can get to that point and we can do that, and I've done that with other chakras. So yeah, so don't feel like if they bring up a certain chakra that it's, there's really dense energy, it's really blocked. It's not always that. But they are specifically pinpointing the intuition side. So it's not to say that your intuition's bad or anything like that, but it's just that for a lot of us in our kind of day-to-day life, we have the really important moments where we tap into it very easily, but then maybe the lesser important or lesser, I don't want to say lesser important because all of your life is important, but for example, the more important time to tap into your intuition would be when it's leading you away from danger, rather than when it's leading you to maybe a slightly higher abundant path. That's the path we all want to go down, but I think I would rather be directed from danger than just have a bit more money. So when we kind of regulate and kind of keep up our intuition, we keep all of those things, all of those lovely things, even if they're not as serious. So intuition and sacral do seem to be coming up for you there. Jan, what are Caden's feelings and intentions towards M? Okay. There are feelings of comfort but misalignment. So it's kind of like you make me feel comfortable, but I don't really feel like we're aligned or matched well. So their feelings and intentions. Yeah, there doesn't really seem to be very strong intentions at all. Like anything set. Maybe just seeing how things go a little bit. Happy to kind of say quite disconnected. Yeah. Pooja, any prominent career growth coming up for me, and if so, what could it be? Okay. So I'm not seeing anything come up there at the moment. It almost feels a little bit like there's a stagnation. So I was going to say a block, but I don't think that's the right word. It feels like there just needs to be a little bit more movement, just keeping up momentum a little bit to kind of get to reach somewhere, because it feels a little bit stagnant. It doesn't feel like there's anything blocking you as such, but it could be that there could be a reason why you're not going down a certain path, or why you're not trying a certain thing, or why there hasn't been so many maybe applications or something like that. It just feels a little bit like a little bit more momentum is needed. So it's getting a bit cold now. Just close over. So Jasmine, additionally, am I correct? Is birthing another child not on the path at this point in our journey? I want to. It will be cute and all, but I think we are past that point. I need time to enjoy each other. Okay. Yeah, so I'm not seeing a huge prominence of it. I'm not seeing it as being like something that's definitely going to happen, something that's really set onto this current path. But I'm not seeing like there's no possibility. I'm not getting like, there's absolutely no possibility it would never happen. But it definitely doesn't seem like a very forefront, a very huge kind of thing on this current path. Jan, love card. Wedding. Okay. So, like I always say with this card, this and the engagement card, it's all about the next level of commitment, all about the next level of the next level of the relationship. So it does say the situation involves marriage, but it does tend to be, if you're single, you'll get into a relationship. If you're, sorry, if you're single, you'll meet someone. If you've met someone, you'll get into a relationship. If you're in a relationship, you will get engaged, and if you're engaged, you will get married. But ultimately, it's still a, even if you're completely single and you don't know Caden, there's still a more prominent energy around the path you're on currently leading to marriage. So, yeah, the marriage card's a little bit more affirming than the engagement one, so that's good. Bear with me a moment. excuse me. And I didn't mute that time, so excuse me. Shaman Stream for Puja. Shaman Stream. Feast of Plenty. Choices and their consequences. So, sorry, I just read it and didn't really go over it. Feast of Plenty, choices and their consequences. So, it's all about, so Feast of Plenty is interesting because it's, again, and this always comes up with Puja, but Feast of Plenty is all about so plenty is the amount of opportunities, the amount of maybe choices, maybe opportunities and things going on around you, but the choices and their consequences. So when we're in a very free will kind of period of our life path and we have a plethora of opportunities and choices that we can make, one thing that is very kind of important is the consequences of our actions, because we're not being guided onto a divine timing, path where maybe we're a bit more protected. So we do have to be very kind of careful about our decisions, because although we have maybe unlimited decisions and it seems very positive, very vibrant, very abundant, there can be negative consequences much more on that path where maybe we ourselves might make a mistake, as opposed to our guides guiding us where they have a little bit more, maybe oversight than us to navigate things like that. So it's definitely not to put any fear into you, or to, because when we're in a kind of period where we have a lot of choices that we can make, then we should be making those choices. We should be, trusting ourselves and making decisions and kind of seeing what we can achieve on our own and things like that. So I do apologize. So I'm not saying it in like a fearful way, like be super careful, don't make any choices because it might be the wrong choice. Make the choices. Don't be fearful of the decision Don't be fearful of the consequence, but just maybe weigh up your options in a logical and intuitive way. Miss Venus, I was expecting oracle cards that my friends designed with light codes encoded in them. They were delivered last Friday, but I didn't get them. What happened? Will whoever got them going to return my package back to me? Okay. Yeah, so I'm just trying to really hone in on this because there definitely is an issue here, but I'm trying to see if this is accidentally marked as delivered or delivered and then taken by somebody else. Yeah, so it does seem that they have been delivered and someone has picked them up, like a person, not a worker, if that makes sense. So like they were delivered by a worker, a person had picked them up, and the person had kind of just discarded them. I'm just seeing. Sorry, just something is just coming through there. So yeah, so it doesn't look like the person discarded them. So just sorry, I just caught myself when I was saying that. Yeah, it looks like the person who collected this pot, so the person who took in your parcel didn't intend to, so it wasn't like uh oh, I know this is for someone else, I'm going to take it and see what it is. It was a mistake. So this person has made efforts to take that parcel back. Yeah, so that's what I'm seeing there. Yeah, I thought that discarded was not right, so sorry that I took my time there. This person has made efforts to take that back. So yeah, I do. Let me check on um, possibly coming to you, possibly coming to you. Yeah, it does look like there is some disorganization going on there. I would probably say if you can or if you haven't already call and to call about it, because if they have received this back, which it looks like they either have or will do, or will do soon, that it could be resent out. That it could be resent out. Yeah, so there does look like a possibility of still getting that same parcel, which is good. But there does seem to be some disorganisation with the delivery, of course, going on there. Pooja, prominent dream N saw about me and what it could be. Okay. Prominent dream that N saw about me and what could be. Okay. I'm not seeing anything at the moment for that. Miss Venus, do you see Omar trying to invite me out again? If so, when and where? Okay. So I do get a yes. I'm seeing within the next week, or it feels pretty prominent. So I would say like within a week to 3 is kind of the energy that's coming up. And so I'm seeing drinks and food, but I'm not seeing anything specific with that. Possibly it's just not, maybe he hasn't even decided yet, but I'm feeling like drinks and food. Jasmine, how long will alimony have to be paid? That's coming through very murky. I'm not 100% on that one. You're welcome to comment that again and we can check to see if that comes up. Jan, how will Caden react if I ask him in a call if everything is okay between us? I just don't know anymore if things are. He's so distant most of the time and it hurts, and I feel like maybe I need to ask. Okay. yeah, so it seems okay. You know, I'm not getting super positive or super negative energy there. It seems okay to ask that. You know, and you have to think as well. You know, it's I know I often talk about even with the cards are the cards on his table. I don't think that's a phrase, but the balls in his court is the phrase probably. You know, and I do understand that, and I do think this him being you or you being the chaser I should say, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't you know you still have to feel comfortable, and it's really difficult in those situations, and you you deserve to know, and you deserve to ask what you want to ask. And that's the thing that I think is a bit difficult with twin flame is the balance needs to come in, and the equality needs to come in, and not that the Caden's a horrible person, he doesn't see you as equal or anything like that, but it's just when one person is being chased, they do tend to be the the one the one in control in a sense. And yeah, um so yeah, I would there's no negative energy around asking it. It's just not like, I just don't feel like there's the super positive energy, but it's very so. You can only ask. Pooja, have I come across anything new on my soul path that I don't recognize consciously? Okay. I'm not getting anything for that at the moment. So not at the moment. Jan, how is September looking overall for me and Caden's connection? I think we did go over this one, so in a few of the questions. So it isn't really looking too much. It isn't looking too eventful. Like, it does seem like there could be some um, closer, more frequent kind of communications, but we did see that the kind of heart to heart and those kind of deeper connections and communications probably going to be, if not hopefully the end of September, but probably a little bit after that. Miss Venus, when do you see my soulmate and I going on our first date? Will I be attracted to him as well? Okay. So at the moment, the second week in November looks most prominent for first date. So will I be attracted to him as well? Let's see what the ball says here. I guess a yes there. Is my soulmate relationship ready? Work through his issues enough, unlike others in my past. Okay. Yeah, I'm seeing mostly more emotionally grown. Um, more emotionally grown than you might say, it being super spiritually driven, It's just generally like self work kind of driven in a I don't want to say not spiritual, but in a maybe a broad sense. Shayna, How does Keenan truly feel about me going no contact since June? Okay. Okay. This feels to be a lot of kind of I've dealt with it kind of energy. Pooja, was it just my wishful thinking coming in a dream in which I was dating some person other than M? No, this is an insight, so this does seem to be an insight into a different kind of a different kind of love path opportunity for you. Yes, it does seem to be an insight. Jan says Acacia card for the connection with Caden. Up in the air. Up in the air. Okay. So it kind of explains like how things are right now, or how maybe you feel right now, things being quite up in the air. Um, there's there's a lot of positive energy in this card, although up in the air doesn't sound like super positive. But if we look at if you can see, I know the green screen effect makes it difficult, but the beauty of the scenery, the beauty of the kind of event that we see in the card is where the more positive side of the message comes in. So the positive side of the message is that just because things feel and seem up in the air doesn't mean that there aren't, those beautiful alignments, beautiful emotions, beautiful things that are coming in, or that are still there, that are still present, that are still possible, that are still available to you. So it's kind of a little bit of I feel like I do kind of give this kind of similar message to you quite often, which is not your fault. It's the situation, how long it's gone on for around you, not your fault. But things can often seem up in the air with him because, as we all have just been saying about the twin flame energy, like he's in the you're in the chaser energy, so things being up in the air kind of I lost my train of thought then. But what I'm trying to say is that although things are up in the air, those positive and beautiful opportunities and possibilities surrounding the situation are still there. So yeah. So it might seem like I say very similar things to that very often, but yeah, it is that kind of energy that you've been in for quite a while. Jasmine, can I expect him to stop talking to me for a longer period than his usual distancing because of the separation? And if so, when can I expect to hear from him again? Okay, so let's look at the most prominent time frame of being distant then. So I'm getting 2 months for being distant, but that what I'm seeing within that is that there may be a little bit of communication here and there. It just it just it's just not very likely to amount to maybe a physical meeting, or maybe maybe it's he will message one day, you'll reply, he'll message that evening, the next day. Like, the communication may be very kind of few and far between. The feeling distant will be for around 2 months, but there may still be little drips of communication in there. It would just be not desirable, not what we want in our communication. Pooja, how is N and A's connection? How is N and A's connection evolving in the coming months and through next year? Okay. So there doesn't really seem to be too much in the way of evolution with this connection, because it's very, there's a lot of push and pull or up and down with this connection. There's a lot of kind of, there's a challenge and then we work through it, and then there's a challenge and then we work through it. So it's almost like we're always ending at the same space because we're having a challenge, working through it, however you might go, but it always seems to come back to this one space. So there doesn't seem to be too much. It's almost like coasting a little bit in a connection, being quite comfortable and coasting. Even in those periods where there isn't a challenge and there isn't overcoming it, it does seem like it's quite, it does seem like it's just quite coasting and not really evolving, not really improving too much, but not really dismantling too much either, Jan, when will Caden and cut ties? When will they have another upset? Okay. So seeing another upset within 2 weeks. Just seeing if I can see a clear cutting of ties. No, it's not looking very clear at the moment for cutting of ties. Miss Venus, I got the part about Jay realising things were his triggers, but I think the part about Jay's thoughts, emotions and intentions towards me was skipped. Okay. Jay's thoughts, emotions and intentions towards you. Sorry. Sorry about that. Okay. So at the moment in the thoughts, I am seeing some regret, but I'm seeing some regret, but it does seem like, in this current energy at the moment where we're looking here, there does seem to be quite a lot of blame, blame around you and blame kind of towards you. So I know we've seen that there's some accepting of that as my own kind of fault, and there's some putting that on you. In terms of thoughts, it does seem to be going around in the thoughts of putting it on you. That's coming through a lot more prominently, so that will be more kind of forefront at the moment. Thoughts, emotions and intentions. Okay. And we'll just see if there's any other thoughts there as well. There are some thoughts of it was meant to be this way. So there are some thoughts of it perhaps being meant to be this way as well. So emotions, there is a little bit of anger coming through. I do feel like the more negative things are a little bit forefront at the moment, and with anger coming up. The care is still there, so the care can still be kind of detected, but that I don't actually think I've picked up anger from him. Maybe I'm wrong. Um, so yeah, and intentions. Let's see intentions here. So intentions do seem mostly to be kind of moving forward and kind of, yeah, just moving forward, moving on. Um, I do feel like with that, because I do think even in his mind at the moment there is some complexity there, because there's that there is some recognizing his own issues and mistakes, and there is some, you know, like I said, there's care and anger, which, human beings are very complex. It does happen, but it does seem like the more negative is a little bit more forefront at the moment. So just to say that. Sorry, I couldn't help. I needed to sneeze then. So I will just be a moment. I am really sorry. I'm just going to get myself some more water and some more tissue as well. Um, so yes, so please do bear with me. I will at least make my way to the end of these messages. Let me see. Oh yes, there's barely any. Oh wait. Hmm? Yes, there is barely any. So we have another hour yet at least. So don't worry to keep putting your messages in and that, but I'll just go and grab my things. Um, did that mute? Can someone just tell me quickly if that did mute? I'll risk it. Hello, if the sound is back. I'm trying to dry my hair now. Um, so, so Pooja, I think, does does he miss the friendship in our connection? We were friends first and then romantic. Yes, I do get yes on that. Jan, after our call, will this get the ball rolling for frequent calls between me and Caden? It seems like there will be a call in this month that will do so. Yes. Swetha, hello. Um, so Swetha, when do you see me buying a home? Okay. So I'm guessing mid 2025. Come up there. When do you see me getting a job? Okay. The latest seems to be February next year. At the moment here. Jan. So right now, to clarify, it's a bit more so like he doesn't want. Sorry. It's a bit more so like he doesn't want to reconcile due to him not being in a good headspace, but he'll want to take action towards me soon due to him feeling better. The negative headspace has definitely come up quite a few times, and I do feel does have an impact. And Jan also says it's not as bad as it sounds that he doesn't want to reconcile at the moment because it's always changing and will increase regardless anyway. Um, yeah, I think that the main thing with him is it does fluctuate, and I do think that in a chapter, in a period when it's increased, when it's more high, energy, he needs to grab onto that and then kind of just trust his own decision. Like even if he grabs onto it and then that energy um, decreases a little bit, he has to just trust himself that he made the right decision there. And hopefully that doesn't go the opposite way. Pooja, do my guides and spiritual team want me to follow my spiritual path and mission as my career and job? So there is really positive energy around that, and that's definitely a big kind of possibility that they encourage and can envision. But there's also other things that you could do. It's it does seem to be a lot about how you're kind of touching other people's lives. So even if you weren't going to go down the spiritual path as such, there could still be something to do with healing, or something to do with one-on-one connection with people where you help them in some way, inspire them in some way, or heal them in some way. Miss Venus says, "What is my sewing guide Ambia doing?" Um, like right now? Do you mean like right now, or do you mean like um for you, like, is there a certain energy that she's channeling right now? Is there, you know, yeah, I'm really sorry. I know. I always hate to ask clarifying kind of questions when you guys have waited so long, especially when I just had like a break for a minute. But yeah, and please let me know if you can. Jan, is there anything I can do to help me and Kaiten realign onto our love path? I know before it was in the energy of letting energy settle, but right now it feels we are misaligned. Um, yeah, I think it's rarely about these conversations. Like, I feel like these conversations, it's difficult because, it's a lot of pressure to put on you to say, when these conversations happen, you have to kind of, you're the one that knows the bigger picture in a sense. So, so I don't want to make you feel pressured that, like, you have to say all the right things and you have to, you can say things that there's no right things to say is probably the best way I can describe that, but I definitely feel like having space for him in those times without being too, like, I would say that there's a nice balance between letting your emotions be heard but not being too all in one, too full on emotionally. Thank you, Miss Venus. Thank you. Yeah, so sorry, we'll just finish up here with John for. Sorry, I just saw that pop up. I can't help it. They pop up in the top, and I get a bit distracted. So yeah, it's difficult to say because it's not really nice to put a lot of pressure onto you and to say you have to do everything perfectly, you have to bend to his will, and you have to do this and you have to do that, and it's really not about that. But I do think that there's a good balance between letting your emotions be known without being too expressive with them too soon. And this is not to account for the whole relationship. Like, when you're in a relationship, you shouldn't feel like you're holding back on your emotions or like you can't say certain things. But I feel like it's just because he feels this pressure, he feels this intensity, getting back into the swing of things, that just initially they maybe need to be toned down a little bit or just held back just a little bit. But I don't feel like there's anything too specific. It's not like you have to be, like I said, you don't have to say everything right or anything like that. I suppose it's just about holding enough space for you and him within that conversation. Not to be inauthentic to yourself, but not to be too much to him initially. Yeah, so she says, what was she doing yesterday when I felt her doing my meditation? Okay. So I'll just get back to Miss Venus's because that was the one I asked her to clarify, so I'll just do that. So she does seem to be overseeing the kind of settling of their work, if that makes sense. So she does seem to have kind of taken it upon herself in a way to be very kind of connected to you and be very kind of available for you if needed or when needed. So really, it doesn't feel like I'm doing extra work. It doesn't feel like I'm adding anything additional extra, but it does feel like I'm kind of helping that energy a little bit. Jasmine had a dream Phil and I were in a car and he was asleep in the driver's seat. I was in the back reading a book about him. He woke up and called me and told me I might as well finish. What was that about? That's very interesting. Okay. So this is really interesting. So it is really interesting. So Phil and you are both in the car. So the car is very much kind of course, you know, most modes of transport in dreams are kind of reflective of our own journeys. So when we're in, you know, if we're on public transport, the dream might be about the wider journey of like humanity or something like that. But being in a car where there may be like just two people or just a couple of people, then you're dreaming about the journey with that person specifically. So you're dreaming of the journey, or the journey with you and Phil specifically, and he's asleep in the driver's seat. So it's also important to know who is in the driver's seat. So he's in the driver's seat, which indicates that you're more looking at his journey. Well, it's not. It's the journey of both of you, but it's more about his kind of. You're getting more guidance about his side of it than about your own side of it. So that's why he's in the driver's seat and he's asleep, because he's more asleep than you. You're more aware than him, and he's not as switched on in his maybe conscious mind, you would say, you know, about the whole situation. But you're in the back and you're reading a book about him because it's a symbol of how much you understand the situation and his role in your life. So you're reading the book, you understand more his role, especially his role in your life, and you research that, you look into that, even if that's just, you know, having like a reading done or checking into your own emotions or something like that. You are kind of delving into that connection, upkeeping that connection, and kind of you know, reading information about him almost, especially in terms of a reading. So he wakes up and he catches you and tells you might as well finish the book. So it's that part. So him waking up can be symbolic of there's a lot of hope and opportunity and possibility that he will become aware of this, that you won't always be the only one aware, you know, kind of in the back seat just researching about him. He will become aware. There's a lot of opportunity for him to become aware, but him telling you that you might as well finish like kind of reading about him and all of that is more symbolic of, although him becoming aware might not be exactly the same as you, you know, him becoming aware might be just realising love for you, just realising the importance of your connection. It might never go to as deep a spiritual understanding as you have, and that's where he's telling you that you might as well finish. It's almost like he's recognising that maybe you do know a little bit more, maybe you do understand a little bit more, but that's kind of okay, you know? So there is this energy of he may not fully understand as much as you do, but he will kind of wake up to it in his own way. So yeah, that's very interesting. I do like the dream ones, so thank you. Jan, is my energy making Caden indecisive, or is the blocks and delays solely due to him? Okay. There's definitely some things that you do that adds to that feeling of pressure that he has, but I wouldn't say that your actual energy, like, you know, I wouldn't say that you have like a block in a certain chakra that's affecting his energy, if that makes sense. So, so I'm just going to, like I say in all streams, I may get beyond this. It's just I have noticed that I'm taking my time. Well, I mean, I never rush or anything, but I just mean it in general. I seem to be taking a little bit longer with questions. Just in general, like it's just one of those days. So I just put finishing up there, but you're always welcome to comment after that, as you know. Yeah, and there'll be another member's crystal ball not too far away. Anyway, but Kieran, so I want to know what is ST feelings and intentions towards me. Okay. There feels to be a lot of positivity in this, in these feelings, and there does feel to be a lot of positivity. There's a lot of care. There's a lot of kind of positive emotion, and yeah, like care, interest, intrigue, like things like that, and things that are very kind of positive, a little bit. There's a bit of a light-hearted kind of energy is really coming through. So let's see intentions. Getting to know you more and spending more time with you seems quite prominent. And let's do an Akashic Tarot as well. So, the Ascent. So we have the Ascent. So the Ascent's a very positive card. If we look at it, we see a man at the top of a mountain, and you're the man in this scenario at the top of this mountain, and what we see is, you know, he's achieved all of this. He's gotten right to the top of the mountain. It's a beautiful view. It's very sunny. He feels happy. He feels achieved. He feels like he's reached his dreams, desires, and goals. It's very positive. But the one thing we cannot ignore in this card is the fact it's a mountain. So there is challenges, there is struggles, and it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be super easy. And this card's more, it's a supportive card, because it's telling you that if you feel like you're pushing against the tide, if you feel like challenges are occurring, that struggles are happening, then it's just asking you to still have hope, because you will get there. So it's kind of a don't give up kind of message. It might seem difficult, it might seem like you're pushing against the tide, but it's just because you're ascending this mountain. Once you get to the top and you achieve your goals, you will feel better and you'll understand, you know, why you went through all of that. Jan, when will I no longer feel stagnant with my connection with Caden? Do you feel that this, depending on the exact kind of time frame of everything, like the conversations and the hot hearts and things like that, I mean, do you feel like there could be slight differences in this? But I'm feeling like kind of October, November time is a bit more prominent. Swetha, do you want me to buy Ajusta Ratnam from India? Let me Google what I'm looking at here. So am I looking at like should you buy it? Oh, I can't type it because it disappears when I click in the box. We'll go on this one. Oh no, I'm not connected to the internet on that one. Oh yes I am. Oh no, I'm not. Oh my days. Let me just type it in here so I have the spelling. Oh, is it a stone? A gemstone? Seems like it might be a gemstone. Yeah, I would say. I mean, I think with things like that, unless it really doesn't resonate with you, then the ball probably isn't going to say no, you know? So it's more like what you're drawn to with stones and things like that, because, you know, just double check, just to make sure, because it can happen. There are some stones that some of us don't really resonate with. It kind of happens, so I will check what comes through here. I'm not getting anything at all coming through there. But most importantly, no really negative energy there. So that's the main thing we wanted to know, if we're going to get something that's maybe has some kind of like spiritual properties. We just wanted to know that it's not going to be negative for us. And Swafa also says, when did you see my husband getting senior position in Route 1 company? Okay. So I'm guessing like within a 7-month kind of time frame there. Sid says, will the flies in my flat stop multiplying? Okay. So I'm guessing yes, but it unfortunately doesn't seem to be super soon. Unfortunately. Miss Venus, do you see me ending the year in... I'm just seeing that pop up there, Kaylee, so I will do Miss Venus's one here, and then I will just check that. I don't know why it hasn't come up on my phone. Miss Venus, do you see me ending the year in a relationship, assuming with my soulmate, or dating? Okay. Yeah, I think very high prominence for dating looks a lot more high prominence than being fully official into a relationship. But yes, I do feel that, and do feel soulmate as well. Um, um, so Kaylee says, is my dad's remix song going to go massive? Okay, so let's check that. So I'm actually getting a no on that, unfortunately. But I really hope so. So I'm getting a no on it, but I would like to also maybe focus on that a little bit. I know, we go back and I knew that your dad made music like DJing and things like that, but I've never heard anything. I've never heard anything that he's actually done. So feel free to send it over, and I'll do a bit of manifesting focus on it myself. Amazing. I would love to hear. Yeah. Sid, when will the flies in my flat stop multiplying? Okay. So let's check that. Seems more towards the end of September. Yeah, I would absolutely love to listen, because I never listened in the past as well. I never listened in the past. I didn't know his name or anything. Okay. So let me just find back where I was up to here. I think. Miss Venus. Um, Jan, all my guides encouraging me to keep going on my current love path. Maybe the card two. All my guides encouraging me to keep going on my current love path. Maybe the card two is a good omen. Things will get better eventually. So sorry. Oh, I haven't really been comfy for more than 2 minutes today. Oh, okay. And now I'm too hot again for some reason. Let me open this again. So sorry. It's quite cold out there, so we'll be closing that pretty soon. Sid, is there anything I can do to stop the flies multiplying more quickly? So I do feel that I'm pretty sure we checked this already. Having a what are they called? Pest control. So sorry. Pest control. Come. Pest control. That was like the main thing that I saw with it, because it's an infestation. Jan says, "All my guides encouraging me to keep going on my current love path." I'm supporting you. I would say more supporting than encouraging. Jasmine, well, in that case, has he had any thought about having another child with me, or does he not want any more kids? It seems like we're supposed to have one, but us going off the path changed things. Okay. So it seems to not be something that's come up too much in his conscious thoughts, but I definitely don't feel so much like a. I don't know why it pulled me back down then. I don't feel so much as a. I've lost where I moved to. So sorry. I don't feel so much as I. I definitely don't want to. Like, I'm confirmed I don't want to. Although I do feel that he leans more to not wanting to, but I don't feel like it's a confirmed decision. Like, I definitely never want to, you know. And I do feel, I do feel like that there was some possibility of bringing through how can I say like a gifted connection. Like, I sometimes I don't like to use words that make it seem like other children that aren't done with like twin flames or super spiritual connections aren't gifted. Like, I'm not saying that, but I do feel like there was some kind of there was some opportunity and possibility about that you may do that you may do that. Sid, is there a way to deal with the flies without pest control? Okay. So it does seem like a complete kind of clear out decluttering a little bit, bleaching, especially in, um, yeah, especially more cleaning than decluttering, if that makes sense. So like a like intensive cleaning, should we say? Decluttering is good, just in general, but cleansing with you know heavy cleaning products. I don't know how to express it. Like bleach, is probably the thing that will come to mind. Like really clearing up the um a little bit more kind of like messy areas there. Like kind of a deep clean could help. But I just feel that they the pest control will deal specifically with just that and getting to kind of the source of that, whereas what you're doing in your own way is clearing anything that will be drawing them back, kind of keeping them, because there's been like I said, the female laying the eggs and all of that, but they're finding comfort in certain places or on certain like foods and things like that at times, or just certain kind of like areas, and they're kind of coming back to that and coming back to that. So yeah, kind of like an intensive cleansing, cleaning could be as beneficial. So sorry, it's difficult to find back where I was up to now. Let's see. Okay, so I do want to be a little bit mindful of the time, only because of other sessions that I have. Um, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through to, we have Aries and we have Sid, if you do have other questions. And we have Kaylee. So if you guys are guys who haven't really been in, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on those questions for now. Questions of people that haven't been in or asked a lot, and which I don't really want to do on member streams, but it's just because I do have to get to the next session. So I will go over those, and as I'm doing that, please, if you whoever you are, however much you've asked, put your maybe most pressing or two most pressing questions at the end, and I will wait there. Let me do like an emoji for them to be underneath, so I don't accidentally answer too many from one person and not enough from others. So you can see those emojis there. Put your one or two most pressing questions underneath there, and I will go through and do Aries, Kaylee, and Sid, or any other questions that anyone else who I haven't answered a lot for. So let me just look at the homepage as well here. So, because I do think we should do another members crystal ball this month. The only issue with this month is I'm going on holiday, so I do have a week of slightly less. And before I said pendulum tomorrow, it's rune tomorrow, so pendulum will be the day after that. So I apologise for that if you were there when I said that. It's ruined tomorrow and pendulum the day after. So I messed up earlier when I said that. Um, but I would like to try and fit in, or I say try and fit in, I wanted to definitely fit in another member's crystal ball. I know we have the heart chakra members crystal ball, but that's nice because there's barely any of you guys, so that will be, we will do, we'll get through a lot on that one. Anyway, so let me see here. Let me see. Okay, so have Aries. I think this is the first one, Aries, so apologies if it isn't. How's my boyfriend perceiving our relationship lately? Okay. Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of positive energy there and positive emotions. It does look very positive. There does seem to be this perception of, like this. We've saved this in a sense. This long term energy that came up last time, I do believe. And just really, really positive energy, like love, care, all of those positive emotions. Um, and Aries also says you've been getting dreams and seeing pregnant mothers everywhere and seeing pink and blue colours lately. Can you tell me the timeline for pregnancy? Okay. Okay, so I'm still seeing a possibility at the end of this month. I did want to check that because I know September's been coming up. And it does look lesser prominent than it has looked. I don't remember exact percentages that I might have given it, but this does feel like kind of a lower energy. But I'm still seeing that is possible, so I'm at least happy to see that. Aries also says, early this morning, my guy and I were laying and cuddling in his bed, and all of a sudden I felt him touch the jewels on my nail on my finger. Was he secretly fantasizing about a wedding ring on me? Okay. Unfortunately, I'm getting a no to that in that moment. So I'm sorry to say that. But Aries also says, has my guy been feeling any recent urges to tell me he loves me? If so, when do you see that happening? Or should I be the one to tell him first that I love him? Okay. So he does seem to be recognizing the emotion. He does seem to be recognizing the emotion. It just doesn't seem to be. It's not at the forefront that he's really wanting to express right now. But he does seem to be feeling the emotion and kind of recognizing that, so that's good. And timeline update for proposal. But guys, any questions? So any question that didn't get answered today as well. If I can, so I'm just trying to think about sessions tomorrow. If I can fit one in tomorrow, even if it might be like an hour or two, which I don't really want to do with the members one. I want it to at least be 3 hours. But if we can, just thinking about what I could possibly do. But sorry, did I read someone's message then and just go off on a tangent? So sorry. Aries, timeline update for proposal and marriage, please and thank you. Okay. Okay, so I am getting proposal. I'm getting April next year, so I'm getting that coming up. So let me see here. Sid. Oh, I would. I'm so sorry. I would have answered them anyway, especially given you didn't ask a lot. So we're opening the back door, let the flies out without more coming in. Okay. So it doesn't really seem like a lot more. It doesn't really seem like any will come. More will come in, but it doesn't really seem like that. That they will all leave. So it doesn't just seem like they will simply just leave out of the door. It seems like they're kind of almost like making a bit of a home there. Unfortunately. Jan, is there anything Caden wants to hear from me? Starting to doubt to ask him during our next call if things are well between us. How will he respond to this question? Okay. So there doesn't seem to be anything specific that he wants to hear. There does seem to be a great understanding of your kind of support and of your kind of your energy. Like it does feel like he does really understand, what your energy is and kind of what you are in his life. Like not in the sense of like a twin flame, but he does understand like the role that you're kind of playing in the sense of he does have this idea that you kind of are still there. But how he responds to if I ask. Starting to doubt to asking him next during our next call if things are well. Okay. It seems to just be kind of like it's not a really positive response, but it's not a negative response. So it's kind of okay. It's kind of okay, is how I would say it. Miss Venus says, what is the compatibility with my soulmate? Percentage maybe? And are there any blockages to us meeting? And do you get initials or a name? Okay, so compatibility in percentage and blockages to meeting. Okay. Sorry. Compatibility in percentage, yeah. For some reason I thought I just made that up in my head. And blockages to meeting. Okay. So I would say 90% here. So I would say 90% compatibility. And blockages to meeting, okay? I'm not seeing any blockages there at the moment. I say at the moment, not wishing that they come further down the line, but no, not seeing any blockages there. Do you get his initials or a name? Okay. Let's see. I'm guessing an N come up at the moment. So yeah, guessing an N there. And Jasmine says, what was the specific reason for their separation? There seems to be a lot of conflict. So there seems to be a lot of even the smallest disagreements that kind of build up and amount to conflict. And it does seem like on her side, there's some recognition that, you know, this we can't continue like kind of going like this, and it does seem like there's efforts have been made to not argue so much and like try to talk things through and sit down with each other and things like that. But it just seems the energy really seems like we're constantly at each other's throats. Like the smallest thing that you might do might trigger me, even though if someone else might do it, that might not happen. You know, it's almost like it's almost volatile, but in a very kind of it shouldn't be kind of way. So, like I said, someone else might do that action or say that thing, and I wouldn't have this response. It's almost like there's, I think, in a lot of relationships, I do feel like this does happen where people just kind of build up normal kind of anger with each other. You know, they might get angry at little things and it just builds up, and they don't really focus on it, and they don't try to resolve it or focus on it until it gets too big. And that can be nice when you want to just like eat your tea in peace and quiet, and you know, and not be having discussions all the time and things like that. But there does get to a point where people suppress things too much that it's just kind of beyond repair. But it is interesting how it seems like other people might do those things and it might not trigger me. So there does seem to be almost like a natural repelling a little bit with them. But yeah, it seems like there's a lot of conflict that shouldn't really be conflict. I'm so sorry, Sid. I'm so sorry about your situation. Jan says I'm not even sure what an okay response would be. Yeah, so the energy just feels like it's not like asking. So, you know, you will say like, how are things between us? Are we okay? Are things okay between us? It's not like he's going to get angry at that and be like, well, what do you mean are things okay between us? There is no us, you know? It's not going to be angry, but it's also not going to be like, oh, I'm super excited to like talk through all of our feelings right now and tell you everything that's been going on with me. It seems like, you know, maybe there will be like a little bit of a positive response, but maybe he won't be fully open to like everything. Um, yeah, saying things are just fine, like not fully opening up, not fully elaborating maybe where he should. Because, you know, someone just saying things are fine is actually a worse response than someone being honest that something's up and telling you, you know, even if it might be really difficult to know that there's something wrong, at least they're not just saying they're fine. So yeah, I think that it's, the way I worded it was kind of not great. Um, but yes, so guys, I'm going to jump off now. I do apologise to not have longer at this moment in time, but so I'm going away from the 9th to the 16th. So if I can do another members crystal ball before then, I will come and do it, even if I have to come on and say, guys, I'm sorry, I do only have an hour, please. Maybe I even use the emoji system. If we have to do just an hour, maybe I'll just use the emoji system and say, you know, let's just do that for today, just because I only have that that time. So but please write down the questions that you're having right now, and especially so, Miss Venus, that's a good question. Um, that's a good question. So yeah, so please note these questions. What I will try to, so how do you guys, just before I go then, how do you guys feel about that? If we do have the emoji system just for a one-off time with the members, just to just so that I can, you know, try to make sure everyone's at least getting it. It might not be as many questions as we usually get through, and, you know, it might just be an hour or an hour and a half, but would that kind of be good? Just let me know if that will, and we can try to do that. Just because, yeah, so I'm going away on the 9th, coming back on the 16th. So I will be taking my pendulum stuff there, so hopefully I can do like a pendulum or two there. But as far as like crystal ball, that's why what is scheduled in September is scheduled that way. When I looked at the channeling and I was like, oh, 21st, I thought it was sooner. That's of course why, because I'm going on holiday, so I just kind of overlooked that just now. But yes, so maybe I'll do a little bit more of a kind of stricter system. Yeah, not too many members do come in. I do appreciate that, but it's just like, for example, there were you guys who are in quite often, like Jan, Miss Venus, and Jasmine in the beginning, and then like Sid and Aries and Kaylee, and even Kieran, I think, came in like a little bit more. And I know that's just timing, and everyone has different timings, but at least if those guys did jump in a bit later on, we'd be in the emoji system, so they'd have a quicker chance at jumping in. That's all I'm thinking. I get what you're saying, Jan, but in terms of people jumping in as soon as they get in, the emoji system is better for that. So that's all I'm thinking. Yeah, no, Miss Venus, I totally agree. So I agree that it's not usually needed, but I'm just saying to try to keep um, it a bit fairer. If I manage to squeeze in another crystal ball that's maybe only an hour or an hour and a half. That's all I mean. I don't mean every single other members one. But yeah, so I'm going to jump out now, but do get in touch if you have any thoughts about anything I've just said there about that stream, and save your questions, any questions that didn't get answered, just in case, and I will do that as soon as I possibly can. So love, light and blessings to each of you. It was really nice to see you, and I am sorry to jump off like this.